Everybody's taken advantage of the United States. People know that if certain people are running a country, that it won't happen.
When you see what China is doing to us, where we're going to lose this year $300 billion to China, and they're taking all of our jobs, and they're doing it through manipulation of their currency. In 15 years from now, China is going to be the most important economic power if we don't get on the ball. And our politicians, hey, look, I have a lot of friends in China. They think our representatives, they think our politicians are the dumbest men on earth. They can't believe what they're getting away with.
And when you look at Japan not paying for the defense, we're defending Japan. We're losing billions and billions of dollars. We're fighting for AIDS help and for farmers and for this and that.
You look at some of these countries like China, Japan, India, they're eating our lunch.
The United States is, if it were a corporation, it would be bankrupt. It's losing $200 billion a year. For years now it's been losing that. What right do we have to go out and defend? Why aren't these countries, these wealthy money machines, paying us for the defense of their freedom and their nations? Why aren't they paying us? When I see a total ripoff of this country by Japan, where they literally have no defense budget, where we have to borrow money from them in order to get them oil and defend the Persian Gulf, where most of the oil goes to Japan and other countries, not us. We get 4% of our oil. When I see Kuwait, a total ripoff. We're bringing the Bridgeton. You remember the Bridgeton? Their oil minister sat back and he laughed at how much money he's going to make. Why aren't we getting some of that money? Why aren't we getting it? They're taking in billions and billions of dollars, and we can't even land a helicopter on Kuwaiti soil. And yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies.
The one word that nobody up on the panel has mentioned is the word depression. And I truly feel that this country right now is in a depression. It's not a recession. People are kidding themselves if they think it's a recession.
I know politicians perhaps better than you know politicians, and you interview them all the time. I deal with them all the time at almost every level.
Well, certainly you've given them more money than I have.
I've given them a lot of money, and they come to my office and they ask for a lot of money, and within the system, I give it.
In his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote, "I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terrorist attacks that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like little kids playing with firecrackers." Trump also mentioned the mastermind of the attack, writing, quote, "One day, we're told that a shadowy figure with no fixed address named Osama bin Laden is public enemy number one."
You know, if you look at Saddam Hussein, he killed terrorists. I'm not saying he was an angel, but this guy killed terrorists. Now Iraq is a breeding ground for terrorists. That's where everybody goes to learn all of the problems.
Iran's not looking over their shoulder.
And we have North Korea. We have all these problems, and we're boggled down in Iraq. Many millions of people that feel that this country is certainly not what it used to be, that's an understatement. But I understand the Chinese, and I deal with them all the time. Now, this is before they thought I might run for president. They consider our leaders extremely stupid people. They cannot believe what they get away with. And all you have to do is look at Michigan and look at Ohio and look at all of these places where so many of their jobs and their companies are just leaving. They're gone. And Hillary, I just ask you this. You've been doing this for 30 years. Why are you just thinking about these solutions right now? For 30 years you've been doing it, and now you're just starting to think of solutions. We will make America great again.
I think people look at certain people, and maybe me, if I were in a position, this country, believe me, would not be ripped off like it is.
You keep saying you're not running for office, but why don't you?
This sounds like political, presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped.
They say a job like president requires a big ego. Now, do you think you can handle it?
I'm not sure my ego is big enough. That's one of the things which I can...
Really? Can I write that down?
You can write. I don't think they want so much me. I think they want my ideas, what I represent.
I think we do need people like you running trading negotiations and diplomacy, frankly, with these countries.
This country needs somebody that can do a great job. This politics is a dirty business, I have to tell you. And I've never seen people able to pivot like politicians.